Have you ever appreciated art? Probably. But have you analyzed art? Taking a bold guess? Not so likely. Then what if I told you that art can change your perspective on anything? History, society, humanity, the future, and even climate change. And I'm no artist. My artistic skills peak at stick figures, and even those are questionable. But today, I'm going to present to you through a set of paintings made by this man, Thomas Cole, that completely changed my perspective on these topics. And today, they're going to change yours too. So let's take a look at the curse of empire, shall we? We start our journey here, the savage state. We can see the birth of humanness itself and of civilization. Take a moment and imagine yourself here. The air is fresh. You can hear the rush of the river, the cry of wild creatures. You live in harmony with everything around you, or at least for now. As humanity, your species is already attempting to outsmart and outshine above everything else, as we can see with hunting and sailing. From the very start, we've wanted control. What's this? The pastoral or Arcadian state, depending on how sophisticated you want to call it. Civilization is really starting to take shape now. You hear the grazing of animals. The smell of freshly cut grass reaches your nose. Peace itself can be sensed in the air. As philosophy is born, we're starting to think, to use our mind to our advantage, as well as animal domestication, yet another step in human advancement. We're no longer living by our surroundings. We're starting to shape them and modify them to fit us. Ooh, big change, huh? The consummation. Civilization has reached its peak. The city is roaring. A grand celebration takes place in the streets in what appears to be a triumph. Humanity has achieved total dominance. It has control, wealth, power, everything that it ever wished for. The peak of civilization. As water is tamed into fountains and marble replaces trees, we know we're on top of the world. But the problem is, there's only one way to go after peaks. The empire that once stood so proudly, gone. Destruction. The streets, once glorious, now burn. The same hands that brought this empire forward have sealed its fate. The same structures which once stood as a symbol of the empire's power, of its wealth, now crumble, showing its doom and downfall. And finally, desolation. Nature has managed to reconquer all. No humans are in sight, and a deafening silence haunts the air as rivers flow freely again and ruins lie scattered everywhere, a painful reminder of days long gone. Beautiful paintings, right? But do you see what's happening here? I didn't when I first saw these. They were too pretty to notice anything then. But if we look into it, if we actually analyze them, we can get so much more out of them. They can become so much more better. So let's take a look. Now analyzing humanity's relationship with nature. And I want you to ask yourselves, at what point did civilization and humanity cross the line? Was that line meant to be crossed? And do we have to destroy what's already here in order to advance? At first, humanity lives peacefully with nature, maybe because we had no other choice. As humanity slowly advances, nature is slowly driven back equally, until suddenly, humans are victorious. Notice how not a single tree, not a single bush or plant is in sight, except for the ones that we ourselves have spared and placed deliberately, almost as if they were spoils of war. From human perspective, they have won over nature. We have everything we wish for. And yet, with all that power, we destroy ourselves, just like we have done so many times before and continue to do now, allowing nature to flourish. showing us that she never lost and just patiently waits to re-emerge, untouched and unchanged. Well then, I don't know about you, but that reminds me of an issue very present today, that of climate change and global warming. We always see everywhere climate change and global warming being portrayed as an issue about preserving nature, protecting nature, saving the planet even. But what if that's the wrong way to think about it? What if the planet, what if nature doesn't need saving at all? The planet, just like in these paintings, has experienced all types of cataclysmic events. Have you ever heard of major mass extinctions? Well, if you haven't, the name kind of gives it away already, but there's been 5 of them. 5 major mass extinctions, and yet you can look outside your window, go to a nearby park, and there'll be a representation of nature there. Be that in a tree, a plant, a bush, maybe a bird flying by. That's because nature has survived, the planet has moved on. And we have to ask ourselves, if the planet was not bothered enough, if nature was not bothered enough with so many worldwide devastating events so many times before, why should this be any different? The answer could be that it may as well not be. The planet may as well survive, and climate change, speaking clearly, may not be an issue about saving the planet or protecting nature. It may as well be an issue about saving ourselves, humans. We, ourselves, our own pride blinds us from seeing this. Now, I want you to think about this. These paintings are from 1836, more than a century and a half ago. And yet, we can connect them to climate change and global warming. I want you to think about that. I can bet Cole wasn't thinking about this when he painted these. And you may think we're stretching the line too far, that we're just exaggerating, and that there's no concrete evidence here. But let me tell you, there's one feature present in all of the paintings, which not only reinforces our concept about nature's perseverance and resilience in the face of humanity, but also shows there explicitly this message. I'm going to give you a couple of seconds to think about it. One feature which represents our message and is present in all of the paintings. Got it? Well, it's the mountain. It appears in all 5 of them, explicitly reinforcing our concept that nature remains unchanged and unwavering, watching down on us as we think we're on top of the world, only to re-emerge eventually, no matter what we do. The mountain, it was there before. It was there after. The only questions to ask are, what did they leave behind? Was it worth it? Or what will we in our real world? Well, but how is this important? How does this relate? How does this appreciate to your daily lives? How does this add to the bigger picture? You may be wondering that. And the answer is really simple. This is just one of countless meanings behind this masterpiece waiting to be analyzed and interpreted. If I asked you at the start of this conference what these paintings meant to you, you would probably just say that there are some pretty paintings, some beautiful art pieces, in fact, but nothing too extraordinary. If I ask you now that we've connected them to a modern issue which plagues us every day, and given a message important enough to think about, what do they mean to you now? Probably a lot more. And just like this one, most, if not all art has meaning behind it, waiting to be analyzed and interpreted at innumerable levels by innumerable perspectives. You don't have to be a historian or a curator to interpret art. You just have to look a little bit further. So I ask you, the next time you look at a work of art, Don't just marvel at its prettiness, although don't get me wrong, that's a huge part of it. It's in our own nature to admire the beauty of things. But also ask yourselves, what stories, what warnings does it tell? Think of how the author is expressing his thoughts to us, or how we can find significant ones in their works. Art is like an iceberg just below the surface, waiting to be analyzed and interpreted, to be all that by everyone. You just have to give the little push of interpreting and analyzing it. Behind every work of art lies a whole world of meaning. Art isn't just a painting brushed on a canvas which doesn't move, or a sculpture carved in marble which will never move. Don't think of it that way. Think of it as something meaningful, as a lesson, something we can learn from and extract meaning from. Could it be from climate change and something that plagues our species every day, something so important, or something so trivial as in your everyday life, how you act, how you see the world? Art can change all these things, and it can change your perspective and your ideas on everything. Art doesn't just tell about the past. It tells about the present. It warns about the future. And right now, we need to listen. Thank you.